What's up? What's up, everybody? How's it going? So we're back. 2013 Pro Corner is back finally. I know a lot of people have been asking, but there's no other way to kick off the new year with having Mr. LiquidTLO on as our guest. What's up, Dario?
Hey man, I'm doing good. It's an honor to be your first guest in 2013, and looking forward to it, man.
Well, of course, man. You were my first one when I signed with Razer. The whole sponsorship. So I figured you're just going to be my first one guest, like the rest of the way. But yeah, it's a pleasure having you on, man. I always have a great time whenever you're on, because who talks about strategy better than TLO, guys? Really.
Thanks, man. You flatter me.
Well, guys, so I was having a pretty good day, just doing whatever I was doing this morning. But then I got this tweet about an hour ago that that the Blizzard folks have announced the whole Heart of the Swarm replay features, and I haven't been see the smile right here, guys. And that's because of you, Blizzard, because I am so excited about those features. And Dario, we were just talking about it a little bit, and I was like telling you to save it, save some of your comments for the show. But what do you think about those replay features? So let me list them out before we go. We actually talk about. So one of them is the whole share replay, which personally for me is amazing, right? Because we're gonna actually see how this would be affected on this show today. And secondly, the whole restart from replay, any player anywhere in a replay. They called it restoring, I guess is what they called it, the restore feature, and which is basically you can replace the two players in the replay with anybody, so you can just restart a scenario. And then there's one other thing that is in it. I don't know. I was just so excited about the first two. I just didn't even read the last one. So yeah. So what are your thoughts on those, Dario?
It's just absolutely amazing. It's gonna it has the potential to entirely change everything, basically everything StarCraft 2 in pro gaming, because we're gonna be able to train specific scenarios over and over again. You're gonna be able to skip the first 5 minutes that we have been playing for thousands of times, and basically just train the really important, deciding, and complicated stuff.
Yeah, give us an example of one of those scenarios that, like, you personally would just, just iterate over and over again with.
For example, if there's a certain all-in, let's just say Immortal all-in, to just put a popular one out there.
Just that one, right? Not a popular one or anything like that.
Basically, let's see. Let's start the game at minute 8. Not every decision has been made yet, but I'm already kind of on a typical standard path, and that's about when I can find out that he's playing Immortal all-in. Right. And then I can just train my defense over and over again and find out really what is the best way for me to deal in this scenario with Immortal all-in, because I'm not going to play 10-20 minute games, but I'm just going to play 50 Immortal all-ins in the same time, basically, because the first 7 minutes aren't really going to change anything. So I can really find out what to do and what to do best in specific scenarios. And I can play late game battles over and over again as well. Let's say 200 supply are maxed. Let's just play this one battle 100 times and improve our micro, our positioning, rather than having to play 125 minute games that gonna allow you to have basically 100 of those battles. You can just practice that in a day or two over and over again. Right. And the truth is, in the first 6 minutes of a game, every programmer is pretty much on autopilot in 80% of the games by now. So I don't need to do that over and over again. I know how to make drones. I know how to make overlords.
It's pretty hard, man. Pretty hard.
So I can just skip that. Do that maybe, I don't know, 1/3 of my practice is just completely standard practice. 2/3 of it should be restoring, or replays. Yeah,
so totally agree, and the whole time efficiency portion for y'all, and a lot of things that Dario just said. It's pretty much saving 8 minutes every single time you play a game, and if you add that up, those are hours, those are days, those are weeks that you're spending practice on something else, whether it's like looking at replays or just going over VODs and that sort of thing. And I mean, yeah, I think it's going to be a huge impact on all the players, but I think particularly the foreigners. I think the foreigners generally have a more limited amount of time than say the Korean players. So
well, it depends, but
it depends on if you're a full timer or not. But there are a lot more. I feel like there are a lot more, half timers. Like especially here in the US too.
What is also interesting to notice with this feature, smart training is going to be promoted much more than before because. If there's somebody who really knows how to use this feature, it could be that he doubles his efficiency against somebody who just grinds ladder. Oh yeah, and custom games could become much more important because you can't do it in ladder games, obviously. So Kaz should really change his behavior.
Well, Kaz has already talked about changing his behavior. So.
Yeah, that's true. Grinding ladder is gonna become more and more useless to programmers. Like you can do that 1/3 of your practice time that I was talking about to just do normal practice. You can do that on ladder, and the rest really needs to be specified resort replay practice.
Well, see okay, so that brings up a good point because I don't, your point there. I feel like that really shouldn't have been affected by this feature. I mean, if that's really the case, then you should have been playing customs from the beginning and trying to recreate the scenario where you're practicing the same thing over and over again. But obviously at a much less efficient, method, right? So, what do you say to all the players that's? I mean, what do you say to the players that say that this feature isn't going to be good because, whole you're never going to play the same scenario, this same scenario in a game or this exact scenario or, those type of arguments.
I think they're wrong because you are, and.
Yeah.
First of all, obviously, the first 4 minutes of game is always identical, unless somebody 6-pulls you, and then you can train 6-pull over and over again, that's fine.
Right.
But the same scenarios happen, or very similar scenarios that basically have the same rules, maybe just tiny little mathematical differences, but the overall picture and shape of the scenario is still going to be pretty much the same, and decisions are going to be similar. Obviously, every single StarCraft 2 game is unique. Every single time, a unit is going to be slightly on a different hex on the map, but that's really not too important for us.
Right.
You're not perfect machines, and not even perfect machines are nearly able to play perfectly, and so I don't think that's an issue.
Yeah, it's going to be amazing. I wonder how fast we're going to see it too. Just how fast coaches are going to start implementing it, and how fast we'll start seeing some results from it, right? I mean, because if I see you playing the same scenario 100 times, well, granted, I don't know if stream viewers are gonna love that, but
I think they wouldn't mind because they're gonna get a much deeper understanding of what's going on. Yeah. I mean. Obviously, I don't want to play 100 times the same scenario either. So it's more like you're gonna play 5 times this, then 5 times this. Okay, here's what I want to do. I want to create a replay folder with different scenarios.
Nice.
So whenever a game is pretty much perfect up to a point, I'm gonna save that replay and say, okay, Immortal in Cloud Kingdom, and put the timestamp in the name as well, and then whenever I need to train this, I'm gonna pick it up and look at it. And my goal is to have probably 50 replays or more in a nice ordered folder, and then whatever I need to train, I can just pick those replays and get to it, and then I can just mix it up, right? I can just play 10 games and I play 10 different scenarios, and only if I know, okay, I'm gonna be playing Parting on kind of small map, okay, I'm gonna get Hero and play 10 CVPs with him, practicing Immortal all in defense, and then it gets really interesting because specialization, first of all, becomes much weaker. Build order diversity will become much more important because if somebody has a very strong executed but somewhat gimmicky build, you're gonna be able to prepare yourself for it perfectly because you're not gonna have to find somebody. Well, it's hard to find somebody who's motivated to really copy the style of somebody else, but if he just has to play the scenario from minute 9, it's much easier to find a practice partner who's willing to do that with you rather than always having to play up to minute 9 and then this happens, and then it's also a little bit weird because you're probably going to make decisions earlier because you know he's gonna do that, even though you know you have to play normal. But then it comes this weird, like you have to pretend you have to scout kind of scenario. So it's much better to have a game in which you scouted because you didn't know it's coming, and then you just play after that already happened.
Yeah, I mean, I think you make really, really good points there, and generally speaking, the state of StarCraft 2 right now, and all the people that are just at the top of the the mountain right now, they're all just they're all above everybody in execution, right? They seem that they execute some specific strategies, and some of them just a pretty wide array of strategies at the top level, and that's kind of where the big difference is between, I feel like, the people at the top and people just under is just having that practice at executing those scenarios.
It's also a pretty big difference between Koreans and foreigners.
Yeah, exactly.
I myself think my build orders, like I have a lot of build orders, but usually I follow a trend for like a week and then I play that build order a little bit too much. And one of my most important goals in the Heart of the Swarm is to diversify my builds more. So you have like 5 standard builds in every matchup, pretty much.
Wow, because like if anybody actually I feel like plays a little bit differently every game. Oh my gosh, man! Like, sorry, the hyena's out the door, guys, if you can hear that. But if anybody I feel like plays just a slight, you play slightly different. I feel like once you pass the mid game, more so than a lot of other folks. I mean, I feel like you do. You play I feel like you vary it up just because, I think when we talked before, you have the way you were practicing is you were practicing kind of with this kind of open feel to it, right? Where it's kind of like, of course you have a direction that you're heading. You have a build that you're working on, just the most efficient kind of build order you're working towards. But at certain points, then you just become very reactive, that sort of play, and I felt like you were getting there, just when I watch you practice, and I feel like that's kind of how the race is designed to a certain extent. Meaning
that's actually one of the main reasons I switched to Zerg, because you have an adaptive, dynamic playstyle.
Yeah. So I kind of want to ask you like where you are with that, because what you're saying there is a little bit different than that, right?
And the reactive playstyle, you mean? Because yes. It's much more, for me, the replay tool is going to be much more about army execution, training that specific part of the game, rather than, because you can adapt to something and know what you have to do, but then you have this huge fight and it's really difficult micro-wise to execute it perfectly, and there's still so much potential to increase your efficiency. So for me, that is the most important part of the replay restoration tool that we're gonna have, that I'm gonna be able to play, not just have small micro scenarios over and over again, but have 200, 100, 160 fights. And also you're gonna be able to find out, would I have been able to win a game that I lost by making different decisions?
Yes, yeah.
Which is like really cool, because okay, I lost this game, I got crushed, but was it even possible to win this game? And if it was possible, how? And that's gonna be so helpful. Suddenly seeing things you didn't see before, because you can just try the craziest things out over and over again. You can just have the same situation and do 5 different things. And then you do those 5 different things 10 times. And then you're gonna see, okay, this would have been the perfect decision or the best decision to make. And if the next time I'm ever going to be in a similar situation, I'm going to try to go for this rather than what I would have thought is the best one, but turned out that it didn't.
Right. And some of the, just to kind of throw examples out there, I mean, I could see, Dario setting up a scenario where, he's pushing once right when he reaches 200 against, say, a Katerin or something like that. And then, he plays this battle, and let's just say he loses. And then, like, the next one he loads it up, he like, what if I build a Nidus, like follow up with a Nidus right afterwards, and he tries that the next iteration, or
what if I make 30 scores and then attack with 230 sometimes instead, and so many different things you can find out, especially when it comes to those exotic kind of situations, because right now you don't really have the time to explore them too much.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna build 30 scores and go for 30 oversupply like a lot. It happens in a very, very few games. And there are so many things that you've done maybe 40 times in the past year or less. Maybe like I probably had 240 supply like twice last year in all of my practice games.
240 supply. Wow.
And suddenly you're gonna be able. Okay, let's see what happens if I have 240 supply. Does it ever make sense to do that? And then I do it 10 times. I kind of get a better feel of it, and then you get much more comfortable with concepts that aren't going to be used too much just because they're so late game. And let's say 5% of your games are 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Which I think is pretty realistic, right?
Yeah, I think that's realistic.
Yeah, but it might be that those 5% happen twice in the final. So suddenly, the most important games of your career maybe are only 5% of your practice time actually went into that very.
No, that's a very, very good point.
Yeah,
actually.
And then you're just kind of lost. You have to make decisions that you're not comfortable on. You can't play too intuitive. You have to rely on you have to think a lot. You have to make really, really specific decisions. But you don't really know from experience if they're right or not, which is going to slow you down. It might put a doubt in you, which is obviously very bad in the final. And, it's just going to... I'm just so excited and I could just talk more.
I know. Dude, I see, that's the thing. I think me and you could literally talk about this for hours, but I know, I know the viewers probably don't want to watch us talking for so long. But, one thing I did forget to mention before, like when we started the show, is that we are doing the giveaway. We are doing a giveaway for an Incredible Miracles LG player jersey that has been donated by an awesome member of the community, Mike Hathaway, aka Peanuts 1955. And he's going to jump on here at the end to kind of write out Q&A. We're going to give him like the last question of Q&A because he's a big TLO fan too. And he's going to come on. He's going to talk a little bit as to why he wants to give this back to you guys, and then he'll help us do the giveaway. Actually, I think he has some trivia questions he's going to ask you guys. And here are the jerseys, by the way. It's kind of the front and the back of the jersey. So it's it's the same jersey all those guys you see on GSL wearing. So guys like MVP and ST and all those guys. So big thanks to Mike for doing that, and hopefully you guys will win. It's gonna be open to all the viewers. Originally we were gonna do a sub only giveaway, but then I decided that it's just not right. It doesn't feel right since this is a community.
You don't need to divide the classes.
Exactly. So I wanted to open it up to all you guys. So everybody watching, you're gonna be eligible to win it. So stick around. Hopefully you guys will, hopefully you'll be the lucky one. And we're going to be doing Q&A. I might do a little bit kind of throughout the show. Maybe take some questions from Stream Chat and have you call in, and then we'll do some call-ins at the end. But anyways, so another thing we're going to be doing with the show is we're going to be talking to the guests a little bit more instead of just doing replays and strategies the whole time like we've done in the past. Just because, these guys, you don't get to know them so much in a lot of the shows and the tournaments. You don't get a chance to talk about them and not only like their background in life, like real talk, but just what's going on now. So I kind of want to do that with you a little bit, Dario. And one thing I want to ask you is that you spent a lot of time in Korea this last year, and you finally came back in November. I think it was November, right? So around that time.
End of November.
Yeah. So talk to me about that experience. I mean, do you feel like your play just elevated from staying there so long, or some of the other things that you learned while you were there?
Well, okay. First of all, there's a very obvious short to mid. Well, it's not fair to say short-term effect, but you get really good practice in Korea that might wear off after a while because you're not playing as high opponents anymore for a while, but you're always going to stay with some of the skill. So that's very obvious. You play good opponents, you improve. But second of all, I think for the first time in my life, when I was in Korea, I was actually training an amount of games and with a discipline that satisfied me. And I think from that, I'm taking home the ability to be able to train really disciplined, because I put a lot of time into that. The last 2 weeks I was a little bit lazy, to be honest, and I'm not very happy with myself about that. I lost a little bit of my structure, but it's also because I hate winter so much right now. We had 10 minutes of sun in Berlin ever since 2013. So
10 minutes of
like direct, like other than that was just cloudy.
Oh, okay,
and,
got it.
I think I'm lacking vitamin D or something. I'm really demotivated by winter right now, but I'm trying to pull through this. But yeah, I was training really hard to an amount that hurt, not physically to some extent, but mostly mentally. That on
Is
Sundays,
that good? I mean,
yeah, that's good. Like I wanted to push myself. Like I wanted to hurt myself by training, kind of. I learned to realize that some days you have to play even if you hate to keep going. And because that's when you're gonna start exceeding. Obviously, it's important to be happy and to be in a good mental state. But just once in a while, I woke up 4 a.m. and I was like, okay, I can't really sleep well this night anyways. I could just spend 6 more hours in bed and be kind of exhausted and wake up lazily. Or I could just, go for a jog now, get some food, shower, and start practicing at 5 a.m. And on those days, sometimes I had the highest win ratios I pretty much ever had in Korea because, it's just kind of a will thing, really. And if you have a mission like that, rather than just grinding away kind of mindlessly, you're going to be able to do much more than usual. So I think I took away a lot of extreme experiences from Korea like that I challenged myself with.
So you kind of know what you're capable of doing in I guess high kind of stress environments, right? Like being super tired or like traveling a ton and that sort of thing.
Yeah, and I think that affected me a lot in tournaments as well. I used to be pretty nervous and feel uncomfortable at tournaments, and then I played really bad sometimes. But the past 3-4 tournaments, aside from the I Series one, I think I played really well. And I haven't won a tournament yet, but I made it to 3 quarterfinals in 3 major tournaments, like in a row, pretty much. And that's a big step forward for me. And the biggest step forward for me is the mental aspect of my tournament play nowadays. I don't get shaky hands, and I don't think about what are people gonna say about me. And
you used to think about that?
Yeah, all
really?
the time.
Oh, man.
I used to have really bad troubles with just an overflow of information going in my brain. And also my perception became really broad. Suddenly I could... Sorry, that was my microphone falling
Suddenly
down.
I could move something and make it fall without even touching anything.
I could see everything going on in the convention hall, and I saw cameras and people, and instead of just having the focus on the monitor. And I think I learned focus because nowadays I just see the game when I'm playing, even when I played on stage at IEM. But also, even if I feel uncomfortable, everybody feels uncomfortable at some points in the tournament. Just play through it and try to do your best anyways. Because just because you're a little bit distracted by something, you're maybe a little bit hungry, doesn't mean you can't try your best and play your best anyways.
Right. So okay, this might sound a little tough, Dario, but the reason I ask it is because I have a heavy belief in your ability to play, and so I wanted to ask you just you talked about quarterfinals and being progress for you. Do you think that's an accurate assessment of where you are skill wise compared to like the top players?
Can you repeat it again?
Yeah. Do you feel like that's an accurate assessment of where? Oh, just like you finishing in the quarters in some of these tournaments, and I'll be frank, like I expect you to finish higher, like that, just because, like I said, I have like a large belief in your abilities, especially when I'm watching you practice. So when you finish quarters, for me, even though you play some great games, and I'm happy you play great games, it's like I want you to do so well as a fan of yours, and I just kind of want to see if that's really like. If you're satisfied with just the quarters right now, and that's where you should be.
I'm satisfied with quarters, but I think it's a decent placement. It's pretty representative of my current skill level.
Okay.
But not my potential skill level. I still believe there's so much I can improve in my play, and I'm still willing to do that. and there's so much more work I can put into it. I can train much harder still and much more efficiently, much smarter, that I believe I still have a lot of room to improve. And I wouldn't still be playing and practicing if I would know that I can't make it to the very top. And, just making it to the quarters, though, makes me realize how close I am to making it to the semis. And then just take it as one step at a time. I used to really get crushed by tournament results because I always expected insane amounts of me, and I was always so disappointed of me, always thinking about myself really lowly whenever I didn't finish in the semis or didn't make it to the finals, which pretty much was never. And nowadays I realize it's not about just breaking out with that one big result, even though I think that would free me. It would open me up a lot. If I would have this, huge success now, I could maybe
just get your monkey off the monkey off your back and that sort
pressure,
of thing.
Constant pressure because I want it so bad, and then once I got it once, I know I can do it twice. But what I now realize is I can just take it one step at a time, and as long as I keep improving a little bit faster than most other people, I will eventually make it to the top. Just gotta keep steady. Just gotta keep consistently training and consistently improving, and then I'm gonna be fine. If I do that, I don't need to stress out. If I hit the level, or if I start decreasing the skill again, then I know I have a problem, and then I know I need to really change something.
Right. So what are your short-term goals for 2013? Like, you mentioned just having, a very kind of staircase type of progress, or, at least, just progress in general, right? Do you have short-term goals that you've set? Like maybe, I don't know, reaching semis, like consistently, reaching finals consistently, winning a tournament in this next 6 months or something.
Yeah.
Like that.
Well, I mean, obviously the next natural step would be to make it to a semi a bunch of times or just once. I mean, you can't expect to now always see me place in quarters or higher, because that's not how tournaments work, obviously. So you can't say, okay, I made it to quarters, now I'm always going to make it to quarters at least, and then I'm just going to go to semis. And eventually when I start winning tournaments, I'm just going to win the next tournaments.
That's right. Bonjour here.
Obviously, I want to make it to the semis. Obviously, making it to the finals, I wouldn't mind that either, but semis is my next goal, to make it at an IEM. IEM CBIT is coming up, and pretty much the minimum requirement for me, quarters, what I want to be, finals, what I would really semi-finals. What I would really be happy about is to make it to the finals. But,
okay, so your low end right now is, I mean, every time you get to a tournament, you're like, you'll be disappointed if you don't at least make the quarters.
Yeah, okay. I mean, I think it's an improvement to be disappointed if I don't make it to the finals, like mentally. Yeah. But obviously, you always want to win and do your best. You can't be like that universal anyways either. Sometimes a tournament just doesn't. Sometimes you just run out of luck.
Yeah, I mean, the draw is. I mean, there is a lot of luck. No matter what anybody says, there's luck involved with the tournament, because everybody has a weak matchup, right? Everybody has a strong matchup. Everybody has a weak matchup.
And it could be that you're playing your best game of all time, and then you lose 1-2 against somebody else who had a really great match himself. And then you're out in the round of 16. And even though you play the best game of your career, and then everybody is still going to be, TLO, sucks because he went out. And
I don't understand. I mean,
even though you haven't played that brilliantly ever before, but then people sometimes can only see results. So, you need to have a little bit of something going for you, and that's why you need to go to quite a lot of tournaments, because the more tournaments you go to, the less luck becomes a factor, because then just rules of big numbers apply at some point, and you're gonna have consistent results.
Yeah, and then that's my big thing, and I wish. I'd like to implore the community is to really, look at these matches. Look at the matches that Dario plays, and he ends up, playing well. Not like his last, his last loss, or like in the tournament or anything like that. You got to look at just the actual overall play of each of the players in the tournament, and you'll actually see progress. Lots of people that say that basically the foreigners haven't made any ground like this last year on the Koreans. I think they're just completely crazy. I've seen so much progress that it's amazing, and it's because I look at every single round, every single match, how you guys are playing, just even if you don't win tournaments, even if you don't make it to the semis, but who you kind of beat in the pools, or who you beat in the early rounds of the tournaments. It's just so there's so many stories there, you know what I mean? And we always talk about stories in the industry, and there are so many great stories, which leads me to no open bracket MLG. I didn't say anything about it on Climbing the Ladder, so I just wanted to say one thing about that. I hope Sundance has something really, really great up his sleeve, because not having an open bracket for me is just, oh my gosh, it's so disappointing for me, because that's one of my favorite things the entire year, in esports, StarCraft, is the open bracket in MLG, because there's in Europe there are more opportunities for you guys, for guys like Snoot, guys like Baby Knight, and those guys to have some breakthroughs, because you just have more tournaments, in Europe. But for me, it's like the open bracket is kind of like that here in NA for a lot of players. And, when I'm talking about just having some big wins and what that means to some of the players' confidence and that sort of thing, that's the only place you're going to be able to get that in NA. Yeah. So, where are these players going to go?
I actually really don't like that development either, because I think the least thing we want to have in esports is exclusivity for new players to be able to break through, and for to have that invite nature, or that closed qualifier kind of nature.
Yeah.
Because what's the appeal to the audience if you don't have the potential opportunity to become a programmer through open brackets, and to have a guy to root for that is kind of like you. He's not a programmer, but he's kind of good, and he's training really hard, and he wants to become a programmer, but that's not possible without open bracket tournaments. And I thought MLG was kind of cool, just because people also got the opportunity to play with programmers, even if your player had no chance whatsoever to win. It was very inclusive and very nice to just be in touch with the fans and normal casual players like that.
Yeah, I played the open bracket in Orlando, and it was, it was my first MLG, and honestly, my whole experience wouldn't have been as great if I didn't actually get a chance to play in the pit with you guys, and that sort of thing. So, yeah, that's definitely one aspect of it, but I just feel so bad for a lot of the up and coming players, because every year these 4 or 5 events are their Super Bowl. You guys have DreamHacks and IEMs and MLGs, IPLs and stuff, but these guys don't. They just play for practice for these 4 or 5 tournaments, and sometimes it's just one, right? So I hope Dallas is the only one that's not going to have open, because Sundance did say that this is just the first one. But so I really, really hope so.
Yeah, me too.
So next thing I want to talk about is, there's been a lot of very, very popular players coming out with blogs, coming out with posts, just really talking about, changing their changing lifestyles, maybe trying to get healthier, maybe quitting smoking like Rhett, and things like that, or changing their lifestyle in general, just more of a just healthier lifestyle. Have you gone through? Do you have any resolutions like that this year, or are you finding that's kind of happening even with folks that aren't posting blogs? Are players kind of more aware of that? They're just the way that they're living is maybe not the healthiest.
Yeah, I think more and more people come to the realization that they have to be somewhat healthy to maintain that, to maintain their skill, because programming is extremely stressful. So much traveling, so much hard training, so much disappointment, and the healthier you are, the more able are you going to be able to just ignore all that and just have a level. And no matter how uncomfortable your travel is going to be, you're not going to arrive at the tournament with terrible back pain and a headache and a stiff neck, because you build up like some back muscular, like what I experienced, and this is like really important for traveling actually. Ever since like I built up a little bit more muscle in my back and my neck and all that, I'm able to travel much more comfortably because you don't get pain so quickly, because everything is just, you can sleep better in a plane even if you have a little bit more muscle, because you just kind of support your own weight more. So you don't have to rely on a comfortable seat to feel good. You are your comfortable seat.
Right.
And it's kind of funny because I'm almost always playing on a wooden chair now and playing StarCraft 2 because the soft chair is distracting me. And
Distract you?
Yeah, it's
they
because
distract you.
Okay, well, here's the thing. Like, if you sit on an uncomfortable chair, to be comfortable, you have to have a good posture. If you're in a really comfortable chair, it's easy to fall into and slack. So that's why I actually like uncomfortable seats now, because whenever I sit on uncomfortable seats, I really make sure I have a good posture, and then I don't start to, destroy my tendons or all that kind of stuff, because I'm sitting in a kind of perfect way. And I think it's great that more and more people are changing their lifestyle, especially because I know of more and more people who have a lot of pain in different various ways. There's programmers. There was like a month in which like 5 programmers messaged me, dude, I have like pain in my wrist, can you help me?
Yeah, and you're hearing that more and more every day, and you mentioned the whole tendon thing, and you had a very you had a pretty large injury, in regards to your wrist, or what was it? It was not tendon. What was it exactly?
Carpal tunnel.
Yeah, carpal tunnel.
Yeah.
Tendon. Oh, geez. Carpal tunnel.
I was kind of ahead of the trend, as I'm always.
Yeah. So talk to us how you're preventing that. I've definitely seen you do some stretches in between. I mean, I'm sure you're doing a lot more. And one of the things that you talked about was your chair. Are those the only things that you've done, or are there some other things?
There's I'm actually writing a blog at the moment. I just started it.
You're writing a what?
I'm writing
blog.
a blog.
Oh, blog.
Like,
yeah.
About how I defeated my carpal tunnel, because right now, even if I don't exercise for like a week, which I shouldn't, I don't experience any pain anymore, which is nice, because the first step for me was, if I constantly exercise, if I constantly stretch, and do that and don't play, I don't have pain. Then the next step was I could start playing a little bit again while doing that, and then I don't really have pain if I take a lot of breaks. And now I'm at that point, I can play 6 hours. That's awesome. And have a day in which I was kind of slacking a little bit, but I still don't have pain. And I want to write a blog about how I got there, what I had to change in my life, and how I reached, healthy posture and just kind of relaxation throughout all my body, that I don't necessarily need to stretch like 2 hours a day anymore. It's still going to be fine. And I did all that without medication and without surgery and any technical stuff that like was invasive in any way. And I think that's cool, because there's a lot of people who think about getting surgery and are taking heavy medication, when I don't think it's always necessary to do that.
Yeah, that's really good. So you mentioned having more stable support with your neck and your back. So do you work out a lot? I mean, like, you're talking about weight training, or?
Well, I'm doing a little bit of like qigong, and I'm learned some basic techniques of Tai Chi.
How did I know you were gonna say that? I just knew you were gonna say Tai Chi or yoga or something.
Yeah, but I'm actually learning the proper. Like, I have a guy who had a Chinese master, so I'm learning like the real proper Tai Chi, because there's a lot of westernized Tai Chi, which is just like feel good, like spiritual kind of Tai Chi, which is bullshit. Yeah. I don't want to have somebody telling me, feel the energy flowing through your body, because that's just like the Chinese language works completely differently. So if you translate that stuff, it sounds really metaphysical in our language, but in their language it's just like everything sounds very, all their pictures are very beautiful in their language, so they just have an understanding of what that means. But when somebody does that here, it's just really pretentious. And so I have a guy who's a doctor as well, who taught me like those basic techniques, which I want to learn more about later on as well. But basically I learned it in a very physical way. Like he explained me how it's gonna influence my blood flow and like what actually happens in my body, and not talking about any kind of energy flow through it.
Oh man, that's cool. Hey, give me 1 second. There's this reflection that I gotta fix real quick. I'll be right back, guys. Hold on. This thing is so annoying. Oh my gosh, that was like bothering me so bad. There's this tiny crack that I have, like where my windows are, and it was just happened to be hitting exactly this metal thing that was reflecting right on like my face, which
I know,
crazy.
I would have done the same.
Yeah, it's like of all things, man. But yeah, so that's really cool that you're that you're kind of doing those exercises too, and Tai Chi. Tai Chi is great, honestly. Like my parents were doing it for a while. Same deal. There's this guy who's there was this 85-year-old guy. He was like the father of a really close friend of ours, and I remember my dad. They were doing all this Tai Chi, and then and then I remember watching him, and I was like, I don't know, 12 or 11 at the time, and this 85-year-old guy picked up my dad by grabbing his ab muscles and just picking him up. It was pretty crazy. I
actually wish like in our culture, like in the Western culture, that like stuff like qigong and stuff would like become more mainstream, because in China you do like see people like just exercising while waiting for the bus.
Yeah, right.
And like if you would do that kind of stuff here, like everybody would look at you weirdly. Another thing we need to import from Asia is that everybody starts wearing face masks when they're sick, because I hate people sneezing at me.
Oh, yeah. No. We don't have to do that. That's for sure. All right, why don't we take a question from the audience? I kind of wanted to mix in some questions during the talk, and then we'll jump into some actual strategy and replays. Okay. So if you guys have a question, just go ahead and type it in stream chat, and I'll just read it off and see if there's anything interesting. Okay, my chat's not frozen. I was afraid. My chat gets frozen sometimes, so. Warrior, see. Okay, so we got two. We'll ask one that's more serious and one that's less. Oh my god, some of these are crazy. So how many games do you play per day?
Actually, I don't really know. Like, games is always a bad indicator, because some days you play 15 games, but they all like happen to be like half an hour. So it's much more better to just think about how much time do you play a day. And as I was saying, the past 2 weeks, I was actually really lazy, so it was more like between 6 hours a day, which is really low, and I'm not satisfied with. But when I was in Korea, I was training between 7 and 10 hours a day, which is much more what I want to be at.
And when we're talking about training, are you talking about including looking at VODs and replays, or are you talking about just pure play?
Just pure play. Wow. I'm not somebody who watches a lot of replays. But yeah, just playing like 8 hours a day would be perfect, I think.
Wow. Okay. So you don't think that? I mean, I feel like it should be a mix of both, like a pretty good balance between both.
I know. Like, I should probably be watching more replays, but I think you shouldn't invest more than maybe 45 minutes a day watching replays.
Okay.
I like to. It depends what type of a person you are. I'm a type of person who likes to just think about a game right when it ends for like 2 minutes, and then just kind of run the replay through my mind rather than actually watching it. Sure. I think then you get a much more intuitive approach to learning the game and finding your mistakes, because you have to rely on your own memory and all that, which is nice because it trains your ability to do that as well. But watching replays and get specific information and scientific data is obviously kind of nice too.
Right. Okay. All right. Second question is, who is your favorite actor? That's a curveball right there.
That's such a difficult question, but.
Or actress. Doesn't have to be an actor.
I'm still gonna go for. Okay, I'm gonna go for two.
Okay.
Number one, Patrick Stewart. Very easily.
Somebody's a Star Trek fan here.
Obviously.
Yeah.
And number two, I I'm not really good with names of actors, I have to admit. But
okay, they're characters.
the guy
character.
who's playing in the new Sherlock series, in the BBC one. Wait, let me look up his name.
I don't know that one. Let's see. Is it who?
He's amazing.
Is he well known or?
Benedict Cumberbatch.
Benedict Cumberbatch. Silence Falls. Nice, man. Or is that Silence?
Yeah, he's absolutely amazing.
Falls. Nice. Okay. Okay. Great. All right, guys. Thanks for those questions. The two of you guys. But why don't we go into some replays? Because of course this is Pro Corner, so we got to get in some strategy talk. So what we decided to do is take make 1 or 2 replays from TLO's matches against Mana. Or Mana at IEM, what is it? Katowice? Is that how you pronounce it? Katowice? Katowice. Okay. So we took 2 of the replays and we're going to go over. Hopefully we'll get to 2, but if we don't have time, then we'll just hold it to 1 because I want to leave plenty of time for you guys to ask questions and the giveaway because I know a lot of you guys are excited about the giveaway. But okay, why don't we load up the game and. Wanted to load up the Entombed Valley one.
Alright.
Was that music that was just playing in the game? Wow, that was some different music playing in the game. I've never heard that music. Wow.
Interesting.
Yeah. Okay. I thought I heard. Last night we had. Go ahead and fast forward to 2 minutes. Whenever you get there.
Right.
Last night, I have this new show, Wednesday Night Sprites, that we play SC2 Arcade with Machine and Tempo and Living Pink, and I could have sworn one of the maps they were playing like Disturbed, like some mainstream bands, and yeah, so I must be hearing things. I don't know what's going on. Okay, let me know when you're ready.
I'm ready.
Okay, so ZVP, that's what we're talking, and obviously, Mana is one of the best European Protossers in the world. And talk to me a little bit about going into this game and what you were what you were thinking he might do and what your strategy was.
I played a lot of series against Mana in tournaments, so I knew he doesn't tend to go Stargates all that much. That's pretty much the only thing I had in my mind, and I was just keeping an open mind for everything else. And my brother sent me a bunch of screenshots of games of him where he positioned buildings. So I made sure my overlords are going to be scouting at the positions my brother showed me he's going to be most likely to position his structures at.
Nice.
And, other than that, I kept a pretty open mind.
Okay. Why don't we get started? Let's go 2x for now, and we'll try to pause a lot just so we don't miss anything. So 3, 2, 1, go. So you're going to open with the standard... was it 14 or 15 pull?
14 pull.
Okay, 14 pull.
I usually go for 14 because I like to get the 2 links out a little bit quicker in case my pylon blocks.
Yeah. You build that overlord before the hatchery, of course. Okay, here you go. Delays your hatchery a little bit, but if they get the pylon down and you didn't start your overlord, that's just bad news.
Yeah.
Okay, so you started your hatch at the 3rd. Cool.
Yeah, hatch goes down a little bit quicker than Nexus, which is how you want it to be, because he went Forge first. So that's fine for me. Even if he blocks this, I'm not delayed in any way. And killing the probe is really, really nice.
Okay, so you're flying the Overlord over the Nexus. It's pretty normal. Your second Overlord is going left of the base. Where are you going to put that second Overlord, actually?
I usually put it in between the geysers of the 3rd base and the main, in that small space at the top.
Got it. Nice. Okay, so you're sending another Overlord bottom right here.
Yeah, that's to look for proxy pylons. That's a very popular position for proxy pylons to be placed in.
Yeah. Wish we could have a screenshot of just the Antigua replay, because your Overlords are perfect on that map. Let's see. Okay, so now you're breaking down the rocks, just throwing in. Pretty normal game, normal start. 3 base versus typical Protoss opening here.
Yeah, a little bit of pressure coming from Mana.
Yeah, pretty normal with two zealots and a stalker. How do you deal with it? Do you? Actually, we're gonna see how you deal with it. I'm not gonna even say anything here.
I went for 4 greens, which is pretty nice to deal with early pressure and to spread creep a little bit and just it's not a big deal if you have a bunch of links. I made 4 links because I want to break down the rocks a little bit more quickly, and that makes you pretty safe. Oh yeah, that overload actually was a little bit mispositioned. As you can see, Mana is going to be able to put down the proxy pylon on the right base. It's just out of my
yeah, just out of your view. Okay, so now you're pressuring a little bit with your lings here, just to kind of get a look. Okay, so
yeah,
let's pause it right
actually,
here.
let's pause it.
Yeah,
moving out with the links in this situation was not very smart. It's obvious I'm not really going to be able to deny the third base. So what I should have done with the links is instead I just sent 1 link to that ramp to scout what's going on, and the rest. Then I have 1 link at the watchtower, and then I should have had 2 links scouting on the right side for pylons and 2 links on the left side for pylons. And not doing that is going to cost me very, very badly in this game.
I see. Okay, so yeah, that's what you mean. So just sending scouts right bottom right here and then top left here. When you scouted the 3 gateways, just basically the gateway block there, was that your cue to start your 4th, or were you just going to start your 4th anyways?
Well, knowing that he has his third base, yeah, but actually on Entombed I would get my 4th base anyways, because you want to get 4 hatcheries against almost anything with the way I opened.
Do you ever macro hatch though instead of 4th base?
Yeah, but on Entombed Valley, I think it's better to just get the 4th in like almost any situation.
Okay, cool.
Because like, why not just make macro hatch at another base? It's really not that far.
Well, that's okay. That's true. That's true. All right. So why don't we start it back up? Here we go. 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, so you're running back the lings, and that's kind of where you were talking about, like, maybe the lings would have caught this void ray coming across the map, right?
Yeah, we'll just kill the pylon there.
Yep, and then you see it there. Okay, this kind of means when you see that 1 void ray and you see a proxy pylon like that, you're usually going to get some pressure. Yeah, some zealot, void ray pressure here, and
at this point, like, I don't even have a roach burn.
Yeah.
Like, so I know this hatchery is not going to be able to be defended. But at least I get the pylon, and that's alright. Like, losing that base is pretty bad, but it wasn't like a game ender in this situation, because I played pretty greedily. Like, if this would have been an all-in, I don't think it would have been very easy to hold without a roach burn, but
yeah, I
was kind of making a decision here to be greedy, and just based on the fact that it's cross map and the way I know Mana usually plays.
Right. I mean, let's pause it for a second. So you didn't know he was going Stargate, right? So he could have easily been going Robo, just a standard 3 immortal or Prism type of immortal timing, right? Is getting such a late Roach Warren actually I mean, could you have held that bush?
Actually, I have a really strong Baneling style against immortal pushes. That
okay. Wow.
That I would have went for. Like, as soon as I saw the Void Ray, my decision was clear that he's not gonna go for immortal push. If he doesn't get that Void Ray, I would have started to get a Baneling nest instead, and gotten a 5th hatchery, and then you get a ton of lings.
How does that work against Force Field?
Yeah, you just keep. What you need to do is you have 3 control groups, and you dance around his army constantly, and you engage. He makes force fields. You run away in all 3 directions once more, and then you do that over and over until he runs out of force fields. At some point, you're gonna have Baneling speed, and if you keep doing that for long enough, you're gonna have drop upgrade as well, and then you can just crush his army. It's important to be extremely patient. It's fine to lose a base. It's maybe even fine to lose 2 bases, as long as you don't lose like all your drones and your links, because at some point you're going to be able to crush his army, and then you're going to be ahead like 60 supply, and then you just take 3 more bases again, and then you're fine at ahead anyways.
Oh wow, okay, so you're actually okay with losing 2 bases in that scenario. Wow, okay, so you'd be down to 2 bases and then just rebuild your 3rd and 4th type of, I guess, scenario.
Yeah, like usually you would lose 1, but 2 bases, like, let's say like he's really super all in and he loses his entire army, and if you have 2 upgrades ready and he doesn't have any kind of tech, then it's okay to lose 2. But if you like transitions and you lose 2 anyways, then you're on a bad spot. But kind of really depends on the game.
Okay. Why don't we go back down just the faster now? kind of walk through the rest of it.
Which time are you at?
I'm at 11:30.
Okay, me too. Good.
For those of you just tuning in, what we're doing here is having TLO kind of walk us through this game that he played Mouse Mana in IEM Katowice. You say it. Katowice. There it is. Katowice. He's just basically walking through his strategy, his mindset, his builds, just logic, everything during this replay. And we're about a third of the way through right now. Starting back up in 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, so breaking rocks. I found this interesting. This is something that I feel like people don't do like often enough, which is like, having your lings just do something on the map. So killing rocks and scouting, that sort of thing. So
there's really no reason to not do things with your circlings. Technically, there should be a ling on every single base. Mm-hmm. And if there are rocks you want to kill them. Sometimes there's a bunch of rocks you want to keep alive as a Zerg. Because of crude load and faster you're gonna have at some point, or just because your opponent has to attack through it, and then it's kind of fine to just fungal everything. But on Entomb Valley, I think there's no rock you don't want to kill, pretty much.
Right. Do you have a do you kind of have an ideal hatchery count for when you're max drones that you feel like is optimal from a unit production standpoint?
I more go with how many resources I have and how much lava do I have. So I just adjust, because sometimes your lava and checks aren't perfect. Sometimes you want to use your greens for different things than injecting. So I don't have any absolute rule to it. I just adapt to it really.
Okay, so let's talk about your composition. So you're going into this very heavy infester. I know all you Protoss are just sighing right now, but it's heavy infester, heavy ling, and you're going to high right now. Talk to me. Okay, so let's pause it for a second. Talk to me about just your vulnerabilities during this time. Is there anything that you feel like you'd be very weak against right now?
Well, basically, Colossus kind of based army is pretty strong against what I have, but I do have Aspire, so in worst case, when I see him moving out, I can still make Corruptors. Mm-hmm. And, well, it's a pretty good army composition in general. Ling Infestor is pretty good against a lot of things. Yep. What deals really well with it, though, is if your opponent harasses a lot with War Prisms, and has salads with really good upgrades at different positions, then you need to start spreading your lings, and suddenly you are not really left a lot with a strong fighting force to deal with his approaching main army to deal with, especially if it would have Colossus in it. Right. But in general, yeah, I think Colossus are probably the key unit to defeat this kind of composition.
Right, okay. Start back up. 3, 2, 1, go. All right, so just really chilling out. I mean, I think you feel like if you can get to Broodlords without him attacking, you're going to be in amazing shape. But you're actually rolling out. I almost feel like you're trying to go with an Infestor Ling timing here. Is that true? I mean,
no, you just kind of want to position yourself on the map. I saw that Void Ray. I didn't want that to sit around on the map trying to kill tumors, and also, in case your opponent would take a fort, you want to be able to put some pressure on.
Right. All right. So he's moving out. He's got a couple hallucinated colossi, which is really smart.
I was actually really, really afraid when I saw that.
Exactly. See, this is exactly why hallucination should be used a ton more.
Because I could have engaged the army in the middle. I feel.
You would have crushed it
before him warping stuff in, right?
Yeah. Okay. So now you're gonna go in. It's just. Alright, getting some Infested Terran in. That's some good force fields by him, but the Infested Terrans are going to rock once they hatch here, and sure enough, that's kind of the case. And that's why everybody hates Infestors.
Well, it's not that bad actually anymore. With if they would be having upgrades right now, that would have been much worse.
Okay. All right, so pretty good. I mean, a decent engagement for you.
Yeah, I could have. I messed up my links around a little bit. I thought I had links at the bottom that would pathing wise go through the right, and then I would have had a perfect surround. But they are a little bit too left, too much on the left side, so they decided to go on the left side as well. And if I would have done this, I would have won the game right away. If I would just have had the perfect surround without all the force fields blocking me.
Right. I mean, those Archons would have gone, and I mean, you would have been And not to mention your broods were already coming, so you could have waited too if you wanted. So
Yeah.
all right. So getting rid of these harass, and it's really important to have a large amount of lanes during this period, right? Just in case of, like you said, harass, right? Like this business.
Exactly. It's really important that you don't get lazy about warp positions either. Like you need to keep focusing them with greens and try to get as many kills up as possible.
Okay, so you mind pausing right here?
Sure.
So yeah, this is the case. This is kind of the moment. He had just warped in, like at your first expansion. And for a lot of low level folks, it's kind of more of a question for folks, just lower level folks. A lot of folks just don't know what to do with the frontal attack. Like your units were just sitting there, and he was pretty much about to attack your fourth there. What's the kind of like the 3 steps that you kind of go through, kind of step by step, while you're dealing with that?
Well, first of all, you need to babysit your main army because, okay, I'm sending a big portion of my links to deal with the zealots, but they're really quick. So they're gonna be back after they deal with it relatively quickly. So what I try to postpone as much as possible is now to have to engage the Protoss army. So I've Infestors, so Fungal can delay pretty well and play some really nice positional play. And the hatchery can tank quite a lot of damage before it goes down. So
are you willing to lose it?
Like, I don't want to lose it, but it's fine if my hatchery survives with 200 hit points, especially if I have a queen with 2 transfuses. So in general, a very good rule in StarCraft 2 in general is you want to engage as late as possible when you're defending. If you have the superior economy and can make more units than your opponent, because then you're going to have more units. It's simple math.
Right.
And you want to wait, see when the perfect time to engage comes up. Obviously, there are some situations under which you're under time pressure. If your opponent is coming towards a choke point, and if he would get in there, his army has superior positioning because of force fields, then you would try to engage him before that happens. But this is a relatively open field in which things like that don't really come into play. So I just want to engage it as late as possible, pretty much.
Okay, and now that you have, let's see, how many brood lords you have? You have 4 brood lords. That's going to help delay this impending attack too by quite a bit. Let's start it up. 3, 2, 1, go. And now your lings are running back. All right, and then you're going to crush the rest of this. And let's see, I think you're going to crush. Yeah, you're going to crush the rest of this. Actually, he's going to get some units away, I believe. But at this point, I feel like you're in awesome shape.
Yeah, like at this point, it's looking really good for me. I have a really big advantage, but Mana is going to do some really nice things to keep me at bay and almost make it hard for me to still win this game. Yeah, and
that's kind of what I wanted to talk about too, is like a lot of people get in this position and, whether it's Protoss or Terran, if you're a Zerg player, some people just end up throwing the game away, believe it or not, even in this kind of position. So, okay, let's talk about what mana. So he's definitely got some pylons in good positions here for warp-ins. Taking his 4th. Taking it pretty late, so I felt like it was strategy initially had a lot to do with 3-base timing.
Yeah.
And you're sitting on 5 base, so obviously you're in great shape here. So what is your plan right now? You're just sitting still. Your lings are just hanging out at the base right now. So what is your plan?
I just want to build up my brood lord count and build up my economy a little bit, because one of the strengths, obviously, of Zerg is remaxing. So most races want to move out with trying to supply, but Zerg can wait a little bit longer. Right. Because if you build up a bank, you're going to be able to make use of it more than any other race. And one big mistake I made in this game is not to make enough spine crawlers at my most outward bases, because that would have made it much harder for Mana to harass me with warp prisons, and made it easier for me to move out more earlier than I did.
Okay, let's pause it real quick here. I just want to ask you so this is pretty typical for people that are behind, right? Whether it's, again, Terran or Protoss, they're going to drop, they're going to delay you while they're trying to catch up, trying to get bases up, trying to get their armies, their main army built up. During this time, I feel like, I'm a Zerg player too, right? So sometimes I feel conflicted as to whether, man, like I'm just sitting back here and he's doing all that. Should I just be counterattacking and then just like taking some damage from these drops, or should I just my sole focus be just cleaning up these drops and just build up that army to 200 and you'll still be way ahead of the guy?
Well, it depends a little bit on the situation, but the safest thing is to do is to deal with the war prisons, get some spine crawlers up, leave a bunch of units at home as a response troop, and when you know everything is in order again and the chaos has kind of stopped, then you want to move out. Unless you, for example, have a really low economy already and your opponent is running like his mothership energy counter is running higher and you want to hit before Vortex or something.
yeah. That's a different story. Right.
Then you want to move out. But like right now in this game, I'm pretty comfortable. I know I was ahead from the earlier stages of the game, so that I can just, keep him at bay, make sure his war prisms aren't cost efficient, and then I'm still gonna be ahead because he invests money as well. Even though it's mostly minerals, which Protoss don't care that much about in late game, but still, if I would just move out now and lose like 2 bases to Sellers, and then lose an engagement, I lose the game. But
okay, so your trigger is once you feel like your peripheral expansions are defended with static.
Yeah,
defense.
Like at least well enough to save me some time and that I have some economy to fight with still.
Yeah, the worst feeling is when you have this awesome Broodlord Infestor army across the map on his side, and then there's just War Prisms dropping zealots all over the place on you. That's the worst feeling. Okay, let's start it up. 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, so that Warp Prism's still working its way around.
I could have had a little bit better overload positioning on the right side. There's a lot of black spaces, which isn't good.
Okay, so you got 2 spines there, and one of the things I noticed is even for 5 zealots, 2 is probably not enough. So you probably need 3 just for the initial 5.
Yeah.
First watch this, yeah.
You want to have more like 4 spines, and then if you can like squeeze in an evolution chamber as like kind of choking point, then that would be nice as well. I think I'm kind of experimenting a little bit lately with when does it make sense to have 4 spines in 1 evolution chamber rather than 5 spines, because I think building placement like that is still really underused by Zerg players. Yeah,
SimCity is so important. Like I don't understand why people don't do it in their mains, like, and then have your spire just right in the middle.
Yeah.
So it'd be awesome if Zerg did it more. Okay, so you're attacking here. You're attacking up, and it's kind of that situation I'm talking about, where they're trying to harass while your Broodlord army is at their base.
Yeah.
So you're gonna lose this 5th.
I'm gonna lose the 5th, but I do have a Baneling Nest that I made pretty late, which is nice to deal with Zealots, because just having 4 Banelings at home makes it so much easier to kill Zealots with, Ling Baneling rather than pure Ling.
Right, okay. Alright, so your Broodlords, I mean, he's got nothing to stop you here, except for, a mothership that just came out, which can always be the equalizer. Alright, and this is, I think, this is the moment where I think the game, kind of, I think the game, it looks like you're in good shape to win this game, but I think this engagement that's coming up isn't the greatest. Is that right? Let me see.
Well, yeah, I think I'm gonna lose a lot of Broodlords in the progress and a lot of Infestors as well.
Yeah. But because you took out his 3rd, do you still feel like you're just in great shape? I mean,
yeah, like I just want to make sure I don't lose this army and he loses nothing, because then that's how I'm gonna lose.
Right.
It was kind of smart by him. He intercepted my Broodlords with the mothership, not just following them. And yeah, I'm gonna lose all my Broodlords, which isn't best. Oh, and I run my Infestors in there.
Yeah, you ran your Infestors in there too, so that's why I was like, you actually lose all this army for about half of his army.
Yeah, but he doesn't have an economy, so...
Yeah. Actually, you got some Lings in here too, so your Lings are just working on here.
I think he should just have attacked now, actually. Well, probably would have, because that's what I thought he was gonna do. That's why I morphed in a ton of Banelings, because that's the best I could do with my money in a really short time.
Right. I think you're right. I think he should have attacked. I mean, he probably wouldn't have won, but he's not going to win for sure now. So.
Yeah, but actually he might have won, because he still has a lot of Templar, 4 Archons, 5 Archons even. Like, I think this could have been his chance to win the game, even supply-wise. I was pretty low, but...
And that's always a tough decision, It's always a tough decision for the Protoss and anybody is whether to go back or not. So he's got. I think he was waiting for the mothership's there now. So.
Well, basically at this point, I just want to play a super patient game because I know there's literally no mining whatsoever. So, I even delayed his base.
Yeah.
Like twice. I could delayed to Nexi and burned my links in both bases.
Yeah, and you're 63 to 22 probes. So why don't we 2x it here because I think it's kind of straightforward from here. It's got that army. You're rebuilding really quickly. You're 71 supply higher. You've got a giant army at this point. So yeah, I think it's pretty over.
Yeah,
so,
at this point,
If you were looking back on this game, what were some of the things that you wish you would have done better?
First of all, be a little bit better with Corruptors chasing warp prisons because he didn't even have speed. So I could have denied more weapons. I should have had 2 more spines at the right base and maybe an evolution chamber and 2 spores because I had the money to spend it on, and spending 300 more is better than losing 20 drones in the base.
Right.
Obviously. And that big engagement was really suboptimal. I didn't have enough overseers to be I had 1 overseer or something. That's why I had to run away from him. I couldn't really take a nice fight.
Yeah, you killed that right away, actually.
Yeah. So that's why I was just running away. Other than that, I could just have split myself and take the fight without losing a lot, I think.
Got it. So do you typically have the Banes ready for the Vortex? Is that a common thing you do, or?
I think Banelings, it doesn't has much to do with the Vortex in general. Banelings are just extremely supply efficient because 20 Banelings only cost 10 supply, and 20 Banelings can do a lot of damage.
They are, but they're not. There's no retention though with them.
What do you mean?
I mean, it's you know what I mean. They can't do damage without dying. So.
Yeah, but when it comes to a fight, Lings die in a battle as well. There's no way Lings are gonna survive a battle. So basically, it's the same applies. Ling has no retention in a big battle either.
Okay, well, that's probably true, generally speaking.
Yeah, let's say if you're engaging a late game Protoss army with 6 Archons and 2 Colossus and other stuff, you want your Lings to die to tank for the Brood launch, but in the end, it's a Baneling is not that different. It's just gonna do the damage instantaneously and special.
Yeah, right. Okay, so we finished the first replay. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that, and Dario with some great analysis there. Why don't we take another question from you guys? If you have a question for TLO and want to type it out in chat, go ahead and do that now. And I think we're close. I think we have time to go through the other replay. We might have to go through it kind of fast, but it's the standard kind of Immortal game anyway. The Immortal all-in-ish type of game. So, okay, here's a question. So RG Sith has a question. Hi, Chanman. Hi, Dario. My question for TLO is, how often does TLO interact with his teammates and practice with them?
Well, basically we interact on a daily basis because we have a Skype group that everybody is in, that we just talk that we use this for scheduling. All our managers are in there, but just generally used to talk with each other as well.
Right.
And I've been practicing quite a lot with Red and Snoot now that I'm back in Europe.
Nice.
I'm not practicing much with my Korean teammates now that I'm in Europe because they are not that fond of playing on the NA server because of lag. And I understand them because if you're in Korea, you can play with the best Koreans, or you can play with me with lag. So I don't
double whammy. No.
So I understand that they rather prefer to play on Korea. I would too, to be honest, because playing with lag is very annoying.
Yeah, hopefully the next step for Blizzard is fixing that. It would be awesome if the game is so global now that I feel like we shouldn't have these regional issues anymore with servers. Okay, well thanks for that question. So maybe we have one more. Let's see. What do you think about? Let's see. Ferocious Guy has a question. What do you think about Polish IEM and Polish SE community?
The IEM in Katowice was just absolutely amazing.
Crowd was
Yeah, it was wild. It was like a real sports crowd, really. They were chanting, they were shouting, they had flags waving and stuff. It was really invigorating to be on stage there and see, you know, I was just trying to suck in all that energy. And it was awesome. Like, I hope more events are going to be in Poland. I think it's a great community and good fans and really nice country.
Yeah, I mean, it was one of the few tournaments where you could actually hear and feel the crowd while the casters were talking. So that's pretty amazing. And I think Carmack even said that it was probably the best crowd he's ever seen in esports. And Carmack's seen a lot. Obviously, he might be a little biased, but he's seen a lot of crowds in his career. So, all right. So, man, do we have time? I don't know. All right, let's try.
Kind of late.
Exactly. Why don't we just take some questions from the audience, guys? If you want to ask TLO questions, call in and ask some questions. Why don't go ahead and add me on Skype? My Skype is ChanmanV, or start calling me on Skype, and we'll pull you in here. And yeah, and we're going to be doing the giveaway. So the giveaway again, guys, is going to be for this Incredible Miracles LG jersey right here that's being donated by an awesome community member. His name is Michael Hathaway, and he is TL Peanuts, TL users Peanuts 1955. You know, really great of him. He wanted to do this just to give back to you guys. It's always great when people want to give back.
Very appreciated.
Yeah, I mean,
thank you, guys.
Nothing exactly. I mean, he's not, and he wanted to help out the show too, which obviously I'm greatly appreciating him for. So, you know. All about community love, man. That's you know, I'm definitely all for that. So he's going to come on here at the end of Q&A and you know, help us do this giveaway. Just, you know, kind of pick one of you guys to give away his jersey. But let's see, anybody calling? Nobody's calling yet. Okay, people are adding me on Skype, so maybe that's maybe that's the way to do it. Okay.
Sounds good.
Yeah. So we got. Okay, this is a funny name, but okay, let me switch the screen over. I'm gonna have to fix it while we're doing.
Oh.
Hi.
I was wondering,
You have a question? Are you there?
Yeah,
Okay.
like for Team Liquid, would there ever be like a Team Liquid, I don't know, like to get like better and like have the sense of like the Liquid love, you know?
Okay, you mean like a Liquid amateur team, basically, or
academy, like a development team.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't really know, to be honest. I think it's definitely not high on our priority list because there's so many things we still have to establish. We are still a relatively new pro gaming team, only existing for about 2 years now, compared to, you know, Mouse and DG, who have been around for really long times. So there's still a lot of construction work going on within the team and around the team that's something for the future, maybe, but I don't think it's going to be happening very soon.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, thanks for your question.
All right. Thank you. Bye.
Yep, you're welcome.
Thanks.
Yeah, a lot of there aren't a lot of teams that actually have academies, and you know, the Complexity Academies has some success with it. So, but it's a lot of work. Hey,
yeah.
Is it Epoch? Is that your name?
Yeah.
So you got a question for us?
Terrence, I need to pause the stream because I can hear you stars.
Okay. Yeah, I think the stream might have stopped and started for a second there. I don't know what happened.
Yeah. So, this is my question. I've been playing the game for about 6 months now, and I'm Diamond League. But how much time practice would you need to get like masters and stuff?
That's a really individual question. Because there's people.
I've been playing around. I play like so much, like about 20. Well, I wouldn't say it's so much, but I play about 15 to 20 games a day, and like I just want to know if it's actually gonna pay off and stuff.
I mean, the hard work always pays off, I think. The question is like, how long have you been playing RCS? Like in general. like is StarCraft 2 like one of your first real-time strategies
Yeah,
games?
that's a good question.
Yeah.
Actually.
It is.
Yeah, that's yeah.
Yeah, so it's gonna take a longer time for you to become masters than somebody like, for example, I have been playing strategy or the real-time strategy games pretty much all my life.
Mhm.
So even though it's different games, it still helped me improve in StarCraft 2 more quickly because I already knew the concept of it. So it's gonna take longer for you than for somebody who's been playing more RTS,
Yeah,
and
so-
you shouldn't be disheartened by that because that's very
Yeah.
natural. It's like somebody has been playing football all his life and then
Yeah, yeah.
switching to rugby, and then obviously he's gonna be pretty good at that as well. And just enjoy it, and if you like playing it, then keep it up. But if
Yeah,
you
man. Yeah.
if you enjoy it, you're gonna improve like 100%.
What division are you in again?
Diamond League.
In
That's
oh
EU Diamond League. So you know.
oh Diamond League. Oh okay.
Yeah.
Oh dude, you're close then. I mean,
Yeah, it's not.
yeah,
that
you're
far.
not that far. I mean, 20.
Like, I want Master League so bad because it just looks so fun and stuff. You know.
I know the
Like
feeling, man.
I know it's gonna be hard work, but I keep putting like time in. I play for like 6 hours a day, and since I have school and stuff, that's quite a bit, and homework and all that.
Mhm.
So you know, I'm putting all my spare time into StarCraft, and I'm actually wondering if if that's enough to get Master League and stuff, and actually play at a competitive level.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Just like make sure school is also working out.
Yeah,
and-
school.
Yeah.
Stay in school,
Skill main
kids.
priority, yeah.
Because else you're gonna be stressed while playing. Like if you neglect school, you're probably not gonna be happy about that, and then while playing, you're gonna feel guilty, and then you can't really focus on that either.
Yeah.
So just have
Yeah.
all your gas and water, and just train hard and live healthy.
And so
Alright, buddy.
thank you. Then. See you
Thanks for
later.
the call. Yeah. See
Yeah.
you
Hello,
later.
best dog ever. You.
All right, Kyle. We gotta make a meme where it says TLO says to stay in school, but play StarCraft.
Oh, 1 second. Alright. Hey guys.
Hey, how's it going, man?
Good.
Hello.
Hey TLO, does your keyboard positioning in your hotkeys result from your wrist problem?
Keyboard positioning definitely. Hotkeys, I don't really know. But the biggest change I made is that basically, my keyboard is like really far on the table, so my entire elbow, like my entire forearm is on the table, and my elbows are resting on the table, and that helped me a lot because if your arms are on the table and they are relaxed, you're not gonna put as much pressure on your wrists as somebody who has his wrists just at the edge of your table, and that definitely helped a lot. And it should be pretty close to your mouse as well, so they don't point away from your body, but inside of your body, kind of.
I see. And I've seen other pro gamers result to it like Locira, the APM Master, or whatever. Do you think it's from wrist problems as well, or just personal preference?
But what do you mean? Like, what does he do?
He has the keyboard tilt.
Oh yeah. I think it might be because of that as well. He's a piano player. Like, I think he's also a piano player, right?
Is
Or
he?
used to be.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I think that's why he's playing so. Like his fingers move differently than for most players. So like he knows a little bit more about posture. I think.
That makes sense because I've watched it. I mean, I've played the piano too, so yeah. I mean, I've noticed his left hand position, and it's very piano-like actually.
Yeah.
Now that you mention it.
I think the tilting, yeah, it definitely helps a little bit.
Alright,
All right, thanks for your question, bud.
you're welcome.
That's funny. I didn't really connect that until you just said that about Lacira. It helps. If you play the piano before, oh my gosh, your left hand is easy.
Yeah.
Easy. Fast left hand is so easy.
What?
Josh, what's up, man?
Hey man.
Hey, this kind of relates to the question 2 guys ago with the guy with the accent. I was wondering how important is it? I'm in Diamond League as well. How important is it to like really understand timings and stuff to get to that next level? Because I feel like mechanically, I'm like kind of there, but I think for me, it's being able to recognize like where they are in tech and exactly the windows and stuff. Like to get to that next level, how much do you emphasize understanding that, and how do you understand? How do you get to understand that in the first place?
Okay, I think StarCraft 2, up to like the very highest level, is pretty much more about understanding than about mechanics. Like if you're saying your mechanics are pretty much there, that's probably like true for your level at this point. and then you pretty much just got it right. You need to start understanding stuff, because as long as you spend your minerals and your gas, but you're still losing, it's probably because you're not reacting properly, or you're dying to all-ins and all that kind of stuff, and don't just just making wrong decisions. StarCraft 2 is much more of a decision-making game than StarCraft 1 and Warcraft 3, I think. And just what can you do to improve your decisions? And first of all, number one, what you do is you improve your scouting. You try to scout better every single game. Like, that should be your main task for the next weeks, to always try to find out what your opponent is doing. Because even if in theory you know how to react to a build, if you don't know what build is coming, that's not going to help you. Right. Then the next step is, after you mastered scouting, you need to find out what to do with the information. Because that's the opposite. Even if you know your opponent, what he's doing, but don't know the proper reaction, once again, that information is useless. And what you can do is watch your replays and see where stuff goes wrong, and then just try to think how you can defeat it in a different way. Like, diversify your responses a little bit and see what is most successful. Like, that's the organic approach, I would like to say. Or you watch more streams and replays and look what the programmers are doing in that situation.
I bet your mechanics aren't quite where you think they are too, because I think if your mechanics are really, really good, like you just max out really well, sometimes it doesn't even matter if you're like have the appropriate composition, at that diamond level. Sometimes you'll win anyways if you're playing Zerg and you're just maxing out really fast.
I agree, but I just find myself losing to I find myself scouting and I just try to read my opponent. It's and I know there's some window there, but I'm not exactly sure how to respond to that, and that just really...
Yeah, that's just replays then. Just check out replays.
Replays and confidence. Just if you're not sure, in doubt, just try it. Don't be afraid of losing. And after you try it, you know better. Okay, this doesn't work, but next time I'm just gonna do it differently.
Yeah, you lose, you look at your replay, and just it's like TLO said that he does. After a replay, just spend about 2 minutes and just think about what you probably should have done.
Yeah.
I know you'll probably do it better next time, right?
All right, awesome.
All right, thanks, Josh.
Oh no, thank you very much.
Later.
Goodbye.
Stasio's calling.
Oh God.
Let's see what he has to say.
Oh my God.
He looks so sexy in that picture. Stasio, what's up?
Yo.
Hey, man.
What's up? You got a question?
I'm afraid of him.
Hit us.
So, TLO. I heard you're into esport about fangirls, right?
I knew that was gonna... No, I'm not. It's a side effect of, success and fame on any kind of level.
Oh my God, you're gonna actually try to answer this seriously?
It has to.
No. Fangirls are nice and all that, but they're extremely distracting. So I find myself really not being into that.
Okay. What about fanboys then?
Well, I know what kind of fangirl he's talking about. So.
I see.
Every programmer has a different approach to fangirls, and I think I'm trying to distance myself a little bit more from it. And it's good to find girls who aren't connected with your work, because else you're just gonna do the same thing all over again, and you need to get away from esports once in a while as well. That's my advice.
All right, thanks, Stasio. Good question.
Yeah, see you, I guess.
All right, later, bud.
Goodbye.
So funny, man. All right, Chris. Oh, nice icon, like it. Chris Santio. All right, we're gonna take we're gonna be giving away the Infinity. Yeah, I can hear you. We're gonna be giving away the IEM LG jersey here in about 10 minutes, guys. What's up, Chris? Got a question, man?
Hey, man.
What's up? Yeah, I just had a question for TLO. Being in esports and everything like that, are you or any other pro gamers worried about just the long-term career factor? like benefits, insurance, the whole bit?
Question.
I personally don't worry about that whatsoever, because I find myself confident to always be able to make money in some way, and if I don't, whatever. That's life. I'm not somebody who thinks about, it depends a little bit on which country you're in. Like in Germany, we have a pretty good social system, so like even if you fail at some point, you're always gonna have like some social security that you can just build yourself up from. You're not just gonna go bankrupt and end up on the street. But also, I think with eSport, I'm building up a really nice network that gives me a lot of options in my future careers, because I know a lot of people in really, really nice positions in companies, and I'm building, a network of people that I'm going to be able to work together with in the future, and I'm developing skills that I wouldn't develop in university because I'm actually, out there. Pro gaming sounds like it's just, fun and stuff, but it's a real job, and you're making real job experiences along with it. So I think I'm in a pretty good spot because of my standing in the community to, even if pro gaming ends, I'm gonna find another job in gaming quite easily.
Okay.
Being in the industry, like, being close to it, do you think that it's gonna be able to survive long term, like for people to actually have legitimate careers and families?
Esport, you mean?
I'm sorry,
in esports? In esports, yeah.
Yeah, I think esport can only grow from right now because first of all, the demographics is becoming broader. It's becoming more mainstream. There are more girls and women coming into gaming, and also the demographic of the range of age is going to increase as well, because people are gaming now. 20 years later, they're still going to be gaming, but the young kids are also gaming. So theoretically, esports should only become bigger. I don't really see how it can become smaller again. So I think esport has a good future for a lot of people. Not everybody is going to make it, but that's just like that in every industry.
Okay. All right, Chris. Thanks for the call, bud.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thanks.
Let's see. Umar's been calling like a million times. Gotta take him. What's up, Umar?
I've called so many times.
Yeah. Persistence pays off, man.
I'm sorry?
I said persistence pays off.
TLO, it's a quick question. I just wanted to know what's your process for injecting larvae? Do you use the base camera, or how does that work?
I'm probably the most messy player because I use every single method you can think of, kind of depending on what suits me best. Or sometimes I just scroll, which I shouldn't do. But my main ways to do is I use spacebar to jump around if my hatcheries are in sync. But if a hatchery is out of sync, I use the camera keys, F2, F3, F4, F5, and jump to the specific hatchery that I know is going to pop next. And then if I know like the next two are kind of in sync, I'm just going to use space for them. So mostly I'm using a hybrid between spacebar and camera keys.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing. The only thing is, sometimes when you have macro hatches and let's say not as many queens, sometimes my queens will try to run around.
Yeah,
and be super dumb.
Yeah, I know that. I had that trouble a lot when I was starting to do that. Just take your time. Like, it's better to like be 1/10 of a second slower with every hatchery, but then not have your queen walk around. So just make sure, like, when you hit space, okay, this hatchery doesn't have a queen, then you just hit space again and jump to the next one. So you just need to make yourself aware to skip the hatcheries that don't have a queen on it.
All right, cool.
All right.
Well, thank you.
Thanks, Umar.
No problem.
Yep.
Goodbye.
All right. Oops. I hope I didn't cut him off too early there. Jesse H. All right. I'm going to pull on Mike here in a second so that we can start, at least, have you guys start answering whatever question he wants you guys to answer for the LG, or the, I keep saying LG first. It's the IEM LG jersey, this bad boy right here. Jesse, you there, bud?
Yeah, I'm here. I got a question for TLO. I know that Chris, you can probably answer that too, but it's about Heart of the Swarm.
Sure.
Money composition. What do you go for in matchups? I've been like trying to use Roach, Hydra, Viper most of the time. I'm pretty high up Master at the moment in Wings of Liberty, but yeah, I don't really know how to. Yeah, it's hard.
Which matchup?
Every matchup.
All of them.
Oh.
That's what I've been doing, man. All of them.
Well, honestly, I don't really know myself yet because I only played like 50 games out of the Swarm so far. I use Roach, Hydra, Viper mostly in CVP. I think in CBC, Roach, Hydra, Infestor is still probably one of the strongest compositions. Hasn't really changed that much.
Nope.
Swarmos can be good in CVC, but Bailings just completely counter Swarmos because you just kill the locals with Bailings and then you just run and kill all the Swarmos. And
really? That's new.
Yeah,
in
Swarmos
TBC,
are just.
in TBC, I still like to go Ling, Infestor, Ultra. Ultras are extremely strong in late game against somebody who doesn't go mech. Somebody who goes mech, I still use Broodlords, or I use Swarmhose with Swarmhose, Queen, Viper, Infestor.
It's crazy. I don't have enough hide keys.
I haven't figured it out really myself.
The thing is, my biggest trouble is in TVC at the moment. It used to be my best matchup in Wings of Liberty, but right now I can't go freaking Ling Bailing. I have to get Roaches because Hellbats are so strong. They even can get healed by Medivacs, which makes no freaking sense.
Oh god, it's
it's
a factory unit. They might as well heal Marauder. No. I mean Thors and stuff. Like that's.
I think you have to scout really well to see if it's bio or mech, and then I've seen myself open up with Roaches quite a lot as well and Hydras, but I really feel like Heart of the Swarm is gonna be much more about scouting and then getting better compositions to match your opponent. Like there's not gonna be as many general compositions that work with everything. It's more gonna be about adapting to what your opponent has and then building the counter type of army, which is gonna be cool, I think.
You sure? Terrans still seems like they dictate quite a bit, and I feel like the Terrans don't still get to choose in the beginning of it.
Yeah, maybe, but that's alright. So I'm talking more about like late game kind of stuff.
Yeah,
but,
true.
Honestly,
I was also thinking like because the thing is in Wings of Liberty it was easier because then you always had the mindset of, all right, every game I always want to go for Broodlord Infestor, right?
Yeah.
But now that you don't know what you want to like go for in the late game, what you want to try to build up, it's confusing. It's really hard.
It's harder, but that's how the game's supposed to be, man. I mean that was the biggest issue with Infestors is because everybody was going Ling, Infestor, Broodlord, Queen at the end of the game.
Nowadays, Infestors have been just shat on.
Yeah, so that's why they're just making us do something different.
Infestors are actually almost better on Heart of the Swarm than Wings of Liberty, but that's just me actually. Like I'm probably the only person on the entire planet who has that opinion.
I totally agree with that because now Zergs have other alternatives than relying on Infestor. Because if they would make the Heart of the Swarm Infestor in Wings of Liberty, Zerg wouldn't like. There's no alternative because you need Infestors in Wings of Liberty.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I mean, guys, we're talking about we're talking about early stages, so you never know what's gonna happen like later. But I have to say, I think Zerg is probably the least different out of all the races.
I think it's the most different.
Really? Oh, come on. Protoss is way more different. I mean,
I think Zerg has turned around a lot. It's like it turned from like a really slow race in late game to once again to the mobility race, and it has become much more about zoning, and there's so much.
I mean, there's so much to be developed, so it'll be interesting to see what happens. But all right, Jesse, thanks, bud.
Sure.
Thanks, guys.
Okay.
Goodbye.
All right, I'm gonna pull Mike on here, the guy who's giving us the jersey to give away to you guys, and we're gonna have Mike ask you a question because I think he has one, and then we're gonna have Mike ask you guys a question. Jersey to give away to you guys. Hey, what's up, Mike?
Hey, how's it going, man?
Good, man. You might want to mute your stream if... There you go.
I just did.
Awesome. Well, Mike, I just want to, obviously bring you on, help you, and then have you help us, do this giveaway because, you're the one that's pretty much donating this jersey to the entire community, and just wanted to say a big thanks to you, just to kind of start off by doing that, and really really do just adding to this kind of community, giving to community type of sentiment. But I kind of wanted just to kind of give you the floor, and just why don't you tell the viewers kind of why you're doing this and that sort of thing.
Okay. First of all, I just want to know, can you hear my audio all right?
Yeah, you sound fine.
Okay, cool.
That's good.
So basically, I saw someone had posted a link on Reddit of a little reseller in Korea that was selling LGIM jerseys. And being a huge fan of MVP and ST and, even Seed, even though now he's in Code B, I was just like, oh, I really want that. And my mother was like, okay, I'll get it for you for Christmas. And so I was like, awesome, cool, sweet, LG jersey. And so I had heard when they were selling the OGS jackets a couple months ago, that some people were having issues with them being too small, and so you had to order like a size above.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I did. I'm a US large, so I ordered the XL. And so then it got to my house the day after Christmas, and I was so psyched. And then I tried it on, and I apparently have really broad shoulders because it was way too tight, and so. I was like, I'll just message the seller, ask if I can get a return. And so I did. And they said, yeah, we'll give you another size up, but you have to pay for return shipping. I was just like, oh, okay, that's probably not going to be too bad. It was $120.
Okay,
so,
that's not worth it. Wow.
Yeah, and so I was just like, jersey was like $60, so... I just started thinking about it, and I was like, the StarCraft scene and the StarCraft community has just given me, since I kind of got into it about a year and a half ago, I've just had so many amazing memories of just sitting at my computer, or chatting with my friends, just watching, awesome games, and just watching streams is one of the ways that I just pass the time now, and started playing a lot more heavily.
Right.
And so I was just like, there aren't many people that will really ever have a chance to get an LG jersey, unless you go to Korea or found this little reseller. And so I just said, hey, I'll just give it back to the community and, make someone's day. I can take the financial hit, whatever.
Right. No, that's awesome of you to do that. And again,
thanks, man.
Doing this on the show, I mean, that's really, really great of you, man. And
yeah, I really love the content that you put out, and I'm always just like, oh man, I wish you had, some more viewers on Pro Corner or something. And so I was like, this would be awesome to do. And so I was just like, yeah, sure, no problem.
Awesome. So I kind of, again, we opened it up to everybody, and I'm kind of giving you the keys. Actually, do you have a question for Dario first? Because I remember you asking me if you could ask him something. So of course I'm gonna get you on.
I'm kind of nervous.
Hey man, don't worry, man.
I'm nervous too.
I am too.
You're one of my favorite players, and one of the things that I really love is just, how interesting all your build orders are, and how, you just have so many different strategies. And what I've been finding, I'm in Platinum. I've only been playing seriously for like 4 or 5 months, and I'm in Platinum. But what I'm finding is that, I'm having a lot of trouble just coming up with new build orders. And so I was really wondering, you do have the benefit of having some amazing Zergs on your team. Zenio and Red, and now Snoot, which is awesome. How do you, what's your kind of process for coming up with new build orders, or kind of thinking about new ways to play in certain scenarios?
I know this is going to be a little bit of a disappointing answer, but this is honestly how it happens, because it just comes to me, like, boom, like, oh, I'm going to do this, and then it happens. Like, I don't really have a conscious, like, thought process of, like, finding these strategies. I think I've have been trying out so many things that it's just become like a really intuitive trait of my personality, like to just like see things that I don't think about consciously, and then at some point I just try it and then it clicks. So I don't really know how you can like come up with new build orders because it just happens to me.
Okay. And then I do just have one big question for you. Are you gonna go to Korea and play in Pro League? Because I really want to see that happen.
Like there are no plans for me going to Pro League because like I'm kind of committing to an apartment in Germany at the moment. But I would really like to go like to Korea for a month or two every year, no matter what. But I don't know like how Pro League is gonna like continue, like what our plans in the future is. So I would love to like have a guest appearance in Pro League at some point, but I don't think I'm gonna stay in Korea for an extended period, like for a while now. So hopefully I just win like a big major tournament.
Yeah, just go win CBIT, and then of course they're gonna ask you like immediately after to come be on Pro League.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah. So
okay. So
Chris,
yeah. So how should we do this, Mike? I'm giving the keys to you. And
yeah. So we had been talking, and we were just like, well, originally what we planned to do was we thought, hey, let's just use a random number generator and then pick out a subscriber from chat. But then it was just like, well, that really limits possibility of winning.
Well, it doesn't really limit possibilities. It's just there might be some folks watching that actually aren't interested in the jersey, and so we don't want to accidentally pick somebody like that, right?
Yeah.
So that was the main reason why I think the number generator isn't a good way to do it.
Yeah. So everyone kind of saw the jersey, and actually, if you can put me on cam, I have the jersey with me so that people can get an understanding of the size.
Well, I'm showing it right now, but I can show you if you want. You want me to get you on camera? Sure.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, plus, I want to show TLO my beard, which was inspired by him.
I can't see your video right now, though.
Oh, let me try. Oh,
it's got a red exclamation mark. You need to get the latest Skype to use. Oh, you don't have the latest Skype. Oh, let's do that.
I'm getting it. Oh man.
Okay. Well, I have the picture that you took. You basically.
That's fine. Just treat your beard at my Twitter.
Okay. Do you want me to do that right now? No.
Sure. No, you can do it later.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah. So just so that you guys know, the measurements are up there, and
it's on the Reddit thread. Go to the Reddit thread, and you can.
Yeah.
Find it.
I'd kind of like it if you guys could only try and go for this if you could wear it. If you don't, that's cool. But
don't resell it or anything like that. I guess is kind of what you're saying.
If I see it on eBay, you guys are just gonna make me cry.
Yeah, that kind of defeats the purpose of this. So, yeah, only try for it, guys, if you're gonna you really want to wear it, and you
if you're a true fan.
Yeah, true fan. Yeah, there you go. All right, okay. So how should we do this? You have a trivia question? Or,
yeah, so I do have a few questions for people to ask, for people to answer, and the way I'm going to do it, I'm watching chat right now, and really don't want to do that. Someone just mentioned that everyone has a different delay.
Yeah, but that's okay. Like, just pick the guy who you see as first. Like, you can't do it in any way.
Yeah, that's the only ways. Yeah, I mean, it might not. I mean, guys, if it's not exactly right, then we can't do anything about it. You know what I mean? Yeah. So there might be a little bit lag, but that's just how it is.
Just don't complain. Like, if you show up as first in your chat, it might not be what is like what it shows up for him. So like, just be cool and. Yeah.
Do you have a series of questions? Because if you're asking multiple questions,
Yeah, I have a few. I have a couple about Incredible Miracle and a couple about TLO.
Okay, let's see who can get all of them right. Does that sound good?
Okay. So.
Okay, so this is what we're gonna do. He's gonna ask is there 4 questions?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Wow, 5 questions. Okay.
So how are we gonna do this though? Like.
Why don't you pick? Can you pick 3 of the best ones?
Yeah.
Okay, so what this will do, we'll read out the 3 questions, and the person that can type out, you have to write it on one line separated by commas. The person that can write the 3 correct answers, and the first person we see, or first person Mike sees, is going to be the winner.
Okay.
In stream chat. You gotta just write in stream chat. It's not tweeting. It's nothing like that. It's actually in stream chat this time around. So. All right, Mike.
So, let's see.
Question number one. Question number one.
The first one is there are two premier tournaments that LGIM players have not won, and we're excluding Battle.net World Championship. So if you can name those two, or even one. The next one is, what was the first major event where TLO played as a Zerg?
Wow.
And then,
nice.
Who are the only players to have been in the first? Who are the players to have been in the first and only team kill in GSL finals?
Who are the first to be in the? Wait, sorry. Can you repeat the last one?
Who are the players who were in the first team kill in the GSL Code S finals?
Oh, okay, got it. Okay,
and they are the only players, IM players.
Okay.
Who were.
All right, they're starting to put them in.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
they
have to
are
try to
flooding in.
I'm gonna
Actually,
get
I
slow
did
mode
not
here.
anticipate how fast that would be.
Yeah, let me see slow mode. I'm putting slow mode here.
Okay, thank you. Okay.
I don't know the actual answers to all of them, so.
Yeah. Hang on. All right. Let's see.
I think I know the answers, but I don't
yeah. Okay, so it was no. Let's see. No, guys, they did win GSTL. No, it was not MLG Anaheim. It was not MVP. MVP was not involved in that team kill. It was actually the Code S where Nesty was completely undefeated. Okay, wow, this chat is going.
I actually know the answer to that one.
Oh, you do? Awesome.
I know the answer to that one. I'm not sure about the first one.
Guys, it's not an MLG. MVP won sometime last year or the year before.
I mean, he just gave you the first part of the last. He gave you 3A already, guys.
I apologize.
Hey, can you type me the answers, Mike? Just type me the answers on Skype. Type me in on Skype so I can help look. It's okay. It was going to be madness for whichever way we did this. So I can still see the top of the chat. So, oh wow, okay. Oh wow, nobody's gotten the middle one right yet.
Yeah.
Oh no, somebody's gotten it. Somebody's gotten it actually.
Oh, somebody did get it.
Somebody got the middle one right. That's like, I think only one person's gotten the middle answer right so far.
Evil did. It was. Two. I said excluding BWC, but yeah.
Okay, so all right. So again, the questions. There's 3 questions. You got to answer the 3 questions correctly in one chat submission. The first question is, what 2 pretty well-known events?
I think I typed out the questions. I think they should be correct like that, right?
Yeah. Okay, guys, I'm really sorry. This could have been planned better. I'm going. Yeah, I am really sorry about this, guys. I thought it would be easier. Okay.
It's okay. So I think we called it a major. I think you call it a major tournament. It's just, let's just say it's a well-known tournament.
Yeah.
Not necessarily a major, but a well-known tournament. A well-known tournament. Let's give it a little hint. Well-known tournament where there's poker playing involved at it. Lots of people playing poker at.
Yeah, the poker table's always pretty crazy. Looping Louie also. I probably just gave that away. Shit.
Okay, there's some people that are close, but not quite.
I think only one person. No, 2 people have gotten the middle.
Yep, we got 2 people with 2 right. I'll give you a hint. Iverson Ninja, you've got 2 of them right.
Oh, where's Iverson Ninja? He's still scrolling through. Guys, again, WCS is excluded from the premier events.
So the answer to the first question, guys, is two events. 2 events that the IM team has not won.
And again, for the third one, no, MVP was not a player. But everyone who's been putting in... someone get it? No. Sergeant Sater, you were so close, but you got...
Oh, so we got some really, really close ones. Okay, so I'll give you one hint on the first question again. The first question is pretty much the holdup right now. So one of the tournaments is not DreamHack.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of DreamHack answers. DreamHack is not one of the answers to question 1. People still typing in DreamHack.
People have been typing in Gumiho and MMA for the third one. Like, I've seen that several times.
Okay, we're getting closer. We're definitely getting closer. I've seen combinations of the tournaments now. Oh, there we go. There we go.
So many close
oh,
ones.
no, it's really close. Oh, my God. Somebody.
Everyone is getting the middle one wrong. I feel really bad for choosing that.
No, there's a lot of people getting it right, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, wait.
Oh, here we go. Oh, no.
Wait, I think someone got it.
Wait.
No Tails. Hang on, I have to check. There might have been 3 that they lost. Incredible miracle. No Tails, please stay on the stream because I think you might have won.
No Tails, please. Why don't you type them out your Twitch ID too, so they can get a hold of you if
my Twitch ID is simply PeanutsFan1995. Has anyone won a DreamHack? I think that okay. Yeah, so I had messed up. There are 3 premier events they had not won. One of them is DreamHack. Guys, so the answer's no Tails. You won. Congratulations.
You lied. Uh-oh. Scandal.
Oh, no. Guys, I'm really sorry. I didn't mean
guys,
for this.
he's giving this away. Okay, guys. So
I didn't mean for this.
It's
That's
all
alright.
good.
Don't
It's
worry
all
about
good,
it.
Mike. It's all good.
Yes, so the answers are no Tails. If you can send me a message, that would be really nice.
All right, no Tails. Congratulations, man.
Yeah.
Lucky winner of this bad boy.
So the answers were there are technically 3 events. I thought it was only 2, and that was going to be an IPL and a Home Story Cup. I think it was Yonghwa or Yoda took 2nd place in Home Story Cup 5, and I think the highest result that anyone has had in IPL was Nest. He took like 3rd or 4th at one. And then the second question was Battle in Berlin.
Yep.
And I was actually thinking a lot of people would go with MLG Providence because I think you did pretty well in that TLO.
Yeah.
Providence.
Yeah.
That one.
And then the third one was Nesty and Losira. And
Nesty
that
4
was...
Odom. 4
Yeah.
Odom, easy. All right. Well, congratulations again. What's it? Well, who's it again? No Tails. Is that right?
Yeah, no Tails.
No Tails.
yeah,
Congratulations, buddy.
Yeah. So
Good job, man.
Yeah, you're gonna be
He is
sporting
a
that the
fair
next tournament.
member. Yeah, and I just sent you a photo of my beard. If you really want to show it on stream.
Oh, to me?
Yeah.
Okay, let me
it's
see.
in
let me
Skype.
see. Oh, it's in Skype. Okay, let me
Yeah.
see. Let me see. Let me see here. Where? Oh, did you send it directly to me? You must have sent it directly to me. Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
All right, let's see this picture and then. Oh, where are we going? You see it? I mean, is it like? Is it like?
Not the best.
Let me
I
see
apologize.
This. Oh wow, nice.
Thank
Man,
you.
That is that takes some work. Here we go. Let me show you guys. Take
It's
some work. Take some work here. Full screen, guys. We're going full screen for our
I'm
friend
looking
Mike
forward to
here.
it. I haven't seen it yet.
Here we go. Oh no, you haven't seen it yet. Shoot. Okay.
Wow, people are still.
You're still trying.
People
All
are
right.
still.
Here's my guys. Here's the guy that was nice enough to give us that IEM LG jersey to give away to you guys. That's a beard right there. That's a TLO beard right there.
It's funny because the stream crashed for everybody when you sent this.
Oh, really?
It was just too epic for it to be
I was
handled.
just like, beard broke.
Well, you know what happens is like sometimes I use this thing where I can change the scenes or whatever, like with nobody seeing it, and it just fucks the stream. It's like great, but anyways, Mike, I really appreciate, man, you doing this with us, and
Yeah, thank you. I mean, I just thought, hey, if I can't have it, I might as well give it away to someone who really loves SC. Oh, whoa, hang on, my speakers just went off. There we go. Okay, now we go. Apparently people didn't see the beard, but yeah, I just thought, hey, if I can't have this jersey, why not let someone else have it?
Awesome.
So yeah.
Really kind of you.
Yep, definitely. Just more of that kind of community love, guys. That's what we need, right? But,
yeah.
That's what the world needs, man.
Yeah, that's what the world needs, man. More love. More of this love. But we're going to have to wrap it up.
Yeah.
Dario, you want to do some shout-outs?
Sure. As always, obviously, we've got to thank Razor, because without them we wouldn't have the show, and without them I couldn't really travel to a lot of places to play tournaments either. Want to thank all my sponsors, so Razor, Twitch, Barracuda Networks, on newest sponsor, who are awesome too. Always looking for software engineers still, so you can message them and get a job at their place even. And obviously the Little App Factory. Thanks to you as well, Chanman. Go follow that guy on Twitter, as you can see, at ChanmanV. Also, you can follow me on Twitter at LiquidTLO, and I'm going to be streaming tomorrow, so tune in for that. Twitch TV/LiquidTLO. And also, big shout out and thanks to Peanuts fan, man, has been awesome. And see you guys around.
Oh, what's your gear again? I forgot to ask you your gear list, man.
Oh, yeah, my gear.
Yeah, what gear does TLO use? I was going to ask all our guests that starting today.
Okay, as you can see, this is the Razer Electra. I'm using the Razer Goliathus as a mouse mat, the Speed Edition. I'm using the Razer Abyssus symmetrical mouse, very simple, 2 buttons. You can use any grip you like on it. I'm using the Razer Bungee to hold my mouse cord, and I'm using the Black Widow Tournament Edition as keyboard.
Awesome. All things we give away on this show, guys. All right, so you can be a baller just like TLO. Mike, you got any shout-outs?
Yeah, I do. I want to give a shout-out to, at my school, we actually have an RTS club. And
awesome.
So we all get
school?
together and play StarCraft and, just have a great time.
What school is it?
I go to... Well, I don't want to give the name because
That's all right.
Actually, yeah, screw it. I go to this small New England school called Kingswood Oxford.
Cool.
And I can see actually one of the guys, Thomas, is in the chat right now, so shout out to him. And then also just to, some of my friends, JD Sarge and Eric and Ava, for really getting me in to StarCraft. And, thanks to the community for just being awesome and really helping to give me, some memories that are going to last a lifetime. And I'm going to be going to MLG Anaheim, it looks like, as a fan. So,
cool.
Hopefully that's going to be awesome.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, actually, I was going to say wear that jersey, but duh.
Well, I actually, I'm saving up some cash so that I can buy a properly sized one.
Right.
But yeah,
awesome.
so...
Okay, great. Well, my shout-outs, I obviously want to... Oh, go ahead.
Thanks to TLO for inspiring me to play really well, and to Team Liquid in general for having one of the best sites ever.
Definitely.
Here's to that.
That's a community site. Yeah, so my shout-outs, obviously, Dario, thanks for coming on. It was enormous amount of fun, as usual. I feel like our brains are like on the same wavelength when it comes to the game and everything. So it's always a real pleasure having you on.
No problem, man.
Let's see. Big thanks to obviously Razer for sponsoring the show, sponsoring Team Liquid, and lots of other teams and organizations around esports. I mean, they're doing wonderful things. So big props out to them. And Mike, again, thanks for you participating in this, and these
Yeah.
kind of just more community stuff on this show is just really great, because I promote. I want everybody to have a. I want the show to be all about community and have you guys interact a lot more. So.
Yeah, my friend. I'm sorry for cutting you off. My friend John, who's another awesome guy. He's in the fighting games community, and I'm just like, dude, this is so awesome. Seeing everything that they do, and I just really love that atmosphere, and I want to bring it into the StarCraft scene.
Awesome. Awesome. The VOD, guys, is going to be available later tonight at youtube.com/ChanmanV. And again, follow us on Twitter and follow this channel if you enjoyed the show at twitch.tv/ChanmanV. I have 3 shows, but 2 of them run weekly. Pro Corner is going to be running. It's not going to be running necessarily weekly. We're going to try to get it in whenever the timings really work out with players and tournaments and everything. So just more of that. All my show updates will be on Twitter, so twitter.com/ChanmanV. But that's going to be it for now, guys. We'll see you next time. We out.
All right. Good night.
Night, guys.